obviously my body is like, dude, you already are in shape. We are not doing anything else. Like, what body? Don't!
Such a sad life you lead, dear Maximilian.
Yeah. But I'm here to share my sadness with the world, because hello and welcome everybody to the 11th episode of the AWKWARDCast. A mind keyframe wonder about random drivel. And we are back to the duo, the one and the two. I'm number one, you're number two. I can't remember the song. Stop looking down on me. Let's see when we have our next guest here. I mean, we already booked Tune for our 20th, but hey.
For our 15th anniversary, our Kinson awkward.
But yeah, I guess since right before we started, I was already nearly going into talking about my last week. I guess I can talk about my last week.
Oh boy!
I have a lot of small things. Let's get the whining out of the way first. So on Sunday, I did what I long pushed off, because before I started my more intense workout, I took before pictures. So on Sunday, I went in front of the mirror again. I took off my shirt. I took a few pictures. I retook the pictures because I'm an idiot and I couldn't recall how I took them the last time. And eventually, I had the pictures, I went to my computer, I put the original before pictures in Photoshop and added the other one on top of it and layered it and adjusted them more or less to cover each other perfectly. And then I was like turning the layer of the newer one on and off to have the direct comparison in a flash. I don't see any difference. 6 weeks of intense workout and I don't see any difference. That's so frustrating.
I can imagine.
I'm on a diet. I'm eating rice and chicken for 6 weeks now. And the occasional rum steak, which is kind of helping to compensate. And of course I have my cheat days, but I'm eating rice and chicken and I'm stuffing myself because I need to gain weight. I'm working out 5 times a day. I'm trying to raise the weights I lift.
I don't get why you're eating chicken then, because chicken's one of those things for weight loss because it takes the body more effort to digest it.
But it has. But if you just eat, for example, fatty pork or something, chicken has good proteins. It's easier to get to the proteins to build up muscle. And I don't try to eat a lot of fat because fat is also it has a tendency to help you gain weight, but not the kind of weight you want to gain when you actually work out. But
I get that. Okay.
So this was one frustrating event this week. Thankfully, I had 2 good ones.
Okay, go on.
As I threatened last week, I was on the Berlin Brettspielkon or Berlin Board Game Con, which is basically a very tiny convention, fair, whatever you want to call it. It's more of a fair by now than it's of a convention, really. Which is, I mean, we have a gigantic board game convention in Germany, which is called the Spiel in Essen, which is there every year in autumn, which is like Essen, the city, Essen, has this giant convention center, like really, really big one, and half of it is booked for a fair for board games. Half of it. It's gigantic. I love it. Sadly, last year I didn't make it there. This year I won't make it there either. So hopefully next year I will be back at the Spiel at Essen. But yeah, compared to this, the Berlin Brettspiel Board Game Con is really, really tiny. It's actually, I believe, 3rd or 4th time this year around. It's hosted by a YouTube channel, which is a German channel about board games. Twist. So yeah. But yeah, one pretty great thing that I got to experience there was a game that I have heard a lot about. And obviously it will be visible in a second. Good being prepared and stuff. Ta-da! Captain Sonar.
Nice.
Maybe people have heard about it. Total Biscuit included it in his arbitrary Best of the Year award 2016. The only board game he sneaked in there. Basically, the idea of the game is that make it bigger again. You have optimal case 8 players, and those players are have different roles. Both you're all members of a submarine, and you have like the oh god, what's the English translation for the thingies? You have the listener.
The little game pieces.
Yeah. But you have the listener who is basically pretending to intercept the signals of the other boat. Basically, he is listening to the other team the entire time. And then we have the captain. The captain is basically the one who controls everything. He is like, course, go north, go west, go north, go left, go east. He's giving the directions, and he is like, fire torpedo, place a mine, and everything. And he's keeping track of your own direction you take. And the interception guy, what do you call it? The guy with the headsets and who's always like listening. The Uhura of submarines.
I don't know the name, but I know what you're talking about.
Let's keep it nerdy. So we have an Uhura and a captain, which a Kirk. Now it's getting tricky. We have a first officer, which would be Spock, I guess.
Spock or Quark if you go
or Riker if we want to mix up the starships. Right? When I think about the first commander, I think about Riker. Even with the new rebooted universe, it's still for me this number 2 is Riker.
Next Generation was the best Star Trek. Anyway, go on.
Oh, the Flame Wars is starting. But yeah, we have Uhura who is listening to what the other captain says and is basically keeping track of the direction the other team goes and tries to figure out where they are on the map. Then we have the captain who is giving the direction for your own boat, and he is deciding when to take any actions. We have the second, the number 2. We have the Riker who is taking control, is in control of the subsystems and is slowly reloading the subsystems, like the torpedo, like the mine, like scanning. So you can not only attack, but you can scan for the other party, and you can go on stealth mode to get away if you are discovered, more or less. And last but not least, we have the Scotty. Yes, Riker is the only one from Next Generation who made it in my setup. We have the Scotty, the engineer, who is keeping all the systems in control, because whenever the boat is moving, something gets damaged. And he's keeping everything working, like Scotty does. And the amazing thing about this game is, this is happening real time. You don't play in turns. Both captains are constantly shouting like, left, north, south. The engineer's like, no, we need to go there, captain, or our systems explode. You have the listener who is like, what is the other team? They're going north. Live. And at the convention, they had not a setup with a table like you see in the picture here. They had a setup with a giant, they had the normal little pieces printed in big things on a giant set, so you were actually standing in front of a control board and doing everything.
That sounds awesome!
It was awesome. And I saw this and I was able to play it. The funny thing is, like, so there was one party ended, and while the previous party was playing, I was like, the menu, new game, learning. This was weird. When I came there, I was like, sitting down, learning new games. I was in a complete negative mood. I was like, oh, because I haven't played a game in forever and I haven't been at any board games, get-togethers or whatever. So I really lost my appetite for it. And I was, Then I came by a table and somebody was like, was in the... no, there were actually 3 people sitting on a table. I was walking by, looking, they're like, hey, you want to be our force? Sure. Sitting down and learning new games, and I was like, I felt it. I felt it coming back, my board gaminess. And then I gathered a spot at Captain Sonar. Once again, this big setup obviously was an amazing feeling, but it also is probably, when you play it on a table like this, it must also be pretty amazing. I don't know why I did not buy it. But yeah.
Available online, so at least you have another purchase to make.
But yeah, once again, the amazing thing is it happens in real time. Obviously, you can stop the game when you are like, stop, we are firing a torpedo, because the other team needs to be like, okay, where are you shooting? Oh no, you missed. Because yeah, the first thing anybody thinks of when they see this and hear about it, the first thing everybody is thinking is Battleship. No, it couldn't be further from the truth. Battleship is so different. And yeah, to once again, name of the game, Captain Sonar, and I will put a link to something in the description to some site that gives you information about Captain Sonar. And also the link to Total Biscuits, to timestamped to Total Biscuits video where he talks about it, because it was him who actually got me first interested in it, and when I saw it at the convention I was like, I wanna play this.
I have to say, I really liked your description of the game. It was very concise. It was a good pitch for it. I'm just disappointed that you didn't have the best next generation character in your description.
Who would this have been?
How can you not include Wesley?
Oh, Wesley Crusher. That's true. That's true.
I can't even say that with a straight face. God, no, I would have included Data.
And the weird thing is,
Data's better. Fuck.
And the weird thing is, Will Wheaton seems to be an awesome dude.
Yeah, well, look. Awesome,
I mean, he is Sheldon's
real bad roles. Okay?
He is Sheldon's arch nemesis. He has his own board game YouTube channel. Just want to point this out, and I guess I have to put this in the description now as well.
Ask for work for yourself, my dear.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and so when I got into the game of Captain Sonar, it was like, so we got 8 people together and we stood on the side, and then the instructor was like, okay, you need to form teams. Who wants to be the captain? Yeah, I make the captain. And we won!
Oh,
I led my submarine to victory! But
I hate the fact that all my friends that like to play board games don't even live on this continent.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. Okay.
But
so was that everything about your week? Or?
Oh, I did something else super spontaneously on my way back. My God, I'm
okay, you told me about this one.
Yeah, so I was on my way back, driving on my bike as always, and it was like a 40-minute drive home. And I just was like 10 minutes in, and it started. I felt little tiny drops, and I had no rain clothes with me because it was supposed to be a nice day. And I was like, do I continue driving? I mean, even if it is just a fizzle, fizzle.
You drizzle, you got it right.
Even if it is just a drizzle over the 30 minutes, I will nevertheless get wet in a not good sense, and my shoes and everything. I was like, right now I'm at the big cinema at the Potsdamer Platz. Whoop! Driving to the left, picking up my phone. Let's see if a certain Marvel movie that started this week has a screening. This is starting within the next whatever hour. In original soundtrack, obviously. So let's see if there is a nice place for me. Oh, look, this single seat in the very center has not been booked yet. What a good thing that I'm a loner. Cling.
Lucky you for getting a good seat. Whoever possessed... Of course, when I went to go see the movie. It was on opening weekend, so we were in the corner.
You remember?
In the front row.
You remember what you said during the pre-show about the importance of friends and caring about them? You see, friends are just weighing you down. Being alone gives you the good seats in the cinema.
Thanks, best friend. I'm glad to hear you say that.
Well, you know what you're in for.
I knew what I was in for 3 years ago. So great.
But yeah, I came out of this movie. I was singing the theme throughout the entire half hour I still had left to drive home. I was pumped. I had a really bad week. I mean, wasn't it last week when I talked about this, my highlight of the week being a hater on Tumblr? So at the end of this week, I had Spider-Man Homecoming, and it was like...
It's so good. I'm so glad we can talk about it now.
And once again, so I saw the Marvel opening, where you see all those characters flipping and the flashes of them, and slowly the camera zooming out and revealing the Marvel logo. And I was like, yes, this actually looks good. DC is really pathetic with their imitation.
I did not expect the Easter egg that they had in the opening Marvel thing, though. They had the beginning of the Squirrel Girl theme in there. Which, out of all their heroes, why that one?
Wait,
what? Squirrel Girl. She's a Marvel hero that for some reason has a really big fandom, and apparently you can hear part of her theme in the opening, according to people, and I'm like,
well,
are you sure you're not just hearing the Spider-Man theme?
I just wanted to say, you hear the original dee 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 dee, which, funny enough, is not in the rest of the movie. They didn't. I would have expected them to make Spider-Man theme an abridged, updated version of the original Spider-Man theme. I mean, do you have any other superhero who has such a significant theme except of which is very hard to put into a serious cinematic adaptation? But the Spider-Man theme, I would have loved if that would have been his theme, but just with an awesome up version, because the theme they used in the movie was awesome. So
Okay. Question.
Oh, yeah.
Out of all the Spider-Man actors we've had, who's your favorite now that you've seen this one?
The problem is I probably have to rewatch Andrew Garfield. If we are just talking about character. Story-wise,
I guess
this one wins, but just because the Tobey Maguire era. I mean, the Doc Ock one wasn't too bad, but the first one was really, when I tried to rewatch it. I mean, Tobey Maguire was a decent Peter. We had Willem Dafoe, which is always good. But at the end of the day, the writing and the pacing and the structure of the first one was not good. Then we had the Doc Ock one, which I recall was actually pretty goodish. But wasn't it the one with... No, the graveyard was at the end of the first movie, right? The graveyard, I have to brood. Leave me, I need to brood.
Spider-Man 3. We don't talk.
Yeah, we don't talk about Spider-Man 3. Yeah, Andrew Garfield. I really liked him as a more witty and talkative Spider-Man, because this is something Tobey Maguire did totally not get. He was really like... And usually Spider-Man is like I mean, there's a reason why Spider-Man and Deadpool get always thrown together, because they are both like the guy with the mouse. You have the Merc with the mouse, and you have the Spider with the mouth. Andrew Garfield captured this very nicely. Here with what's his name?
I can't remember the actor's name, but to me, I just call him Peter because he is great. But teen boy.
Yeah, but this Peter
I passed off as a teenager.
Yeah, but this Peter really had the awkwardness amazingly down. Like, without spoiling anything, the car robbing scene. I just say the car robbing scene. Amazing.
Can I just say because it kind of goes into that, but it's not spoiler because it's in every Marvel movie.
Wait. I'm prepared. Give me a second.
It's not. It's something.
Go. Being safe. Okay, now you can talk.
Oh wow! When did you make this?
Initiating spoiler alert protocol.
This is actually really cool. I'm impressed with you, Maxie. But no, I was just gonna say.
We probably should explain this. So while this is up and the topic we just introduced, probably mute, and I turn everything back to normal when we are not spoilery anymore. But please go ahead. We are now completely in spoiler mode for Spider-Man: Homecoming.
You're gonna be really disappointed that what I'm just talking about is the Stan Lee cameo.
Anyways, I will talk spoilers after you. I designed all of this.
Cameo, I was kind of out of everything, especially the post-credit scene. I was very disappointed with how they did the Stan Lee cameo. As many issues there are with Guardians 2, nothing will beat that cameo. Where he gets left on a planet by aliens and shut up. That is the best thing.
I personally thought this was one of his nicest cameos because he actually was involved. Usually you just see him in the background and make something and look or do things. Here he was allowed to interact, to talk. He had like 3 lines of dialogue.
I mean, if we're going to talk about the ones where he actually interacts with characters, his one at the end of Big Hero 6 was actually a really good one.
Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah, that one is the best one that I think when he's involved with. This one wasn't bad. It made me laugh. It's just like out of how funny this movie is and how good this movie is, I was like, I wanted more, but oh my goodness, this movie is so good. What's your spoilers that you want to talk about, sweetie?
Also not too big stuff, but first of all, the voucher is amazing, especially if you're comparing to this goofy character from the original, like with the tight costume and the old guy. Yeah. I can't really recall a lot. I remember that I did watch Spider-Man the cartoon show, but I can't recall a lot of details. But I can recall that I never found the voucher actually intimidating. Now look at this one.
Michael Keaton just needs to play superhero, supervillain type characters for the rest of his career.
Of flying animals, yes.
No,
look at it, Batman.
Yeah, Batman.
The Birdman. There was even a fourth one. There was a fourth one that he played that was bird related or flying related. Michael Keaton.
The weird thing is, the first thing that came to my mind was not a bird. I thought of Jack Frost from that terrible movie, and I'm no. No. Exactly the opposite of what he's supposed to play. But oh my goodness, he was so good, and the introduction of Scorpion at the end was also.
But and I liked the technified version of him. I mean, this was a thing that I mean, people were not happy with the Rhino in the last incarnation, but with him here, once again, previously the green tight jumpsuit, like very cartoony, but here the technified version worked. It still had the very animalistic thing to touch to it, with the claws and the flying and the way how he acted. He still came across as a bird of prey. But at the same time, he was in this techno suit, which worked very well. And of course, the twist involving him, like, I didn't see it coming at all. I mean, I probably could have. The hints were there, but it was like, oh, damn.
When I was in the theater, because it was a packed theater, when that scene happened, I heard an audible gasp behind me. I could feel the breath of air that left everyone's body hit me.
It came in 2 stages. First stage, he opens the door and I'm like, really? The villain arrived there before him? And then like, oh my god! When I realized what was happening. And the drive scene. Oh god, boy. The drive. Oh, this was like tension, like. You could feel Peter. You could feel him. Oh, the poor guy.
How he started connecting the dots was just like, this is such good writing.
I know. And at the end, tiny thing once again that I really liked about it, they got Gwyneth back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the thing, as far as I know, I didn't follow it close enough, but as far as I know, the fact that she was not in Avengers was basically that her contract was done, and Avengers and and Civil War. She was, or was it only Civil War? Oh, she was in Avengers, but she was not in Civil War. That's it. She was not in Civil War. Ultron. No, she was not in Ultron and not in Civil War. In Civil War, they even had broken up. So they pretty much had Gwyneth written out of the universe, and then the door opens and Gwyneth Paltrow comes back as Pepper Potts, and I'm like, yeah, they got her back! You see, guys, this kind of...
I love that joke with it, though. I've been holding this since 2008.
Yeah.
I can't help it, that got a good chuckle out of me.
Happy jokes are best jokes.
My favorite thing, because the Vulture's costume,
Mm-hmm.
I kept looking at production stuff about it after, but I love the contrast between the two, because like you say, while it's technological, it doesn't look like, say, Iron Man, the Iron Spider, or Spider-Man's new suit.
Yeah.
So having like the two contrast with each other when they're on screen, besides like the last scene where he has his normal suit, I'm just like, symbolism, it's so good.
Indeed. But I guess at least to move the show along, we should probably stop talking about it. So, returning to standard mode. This was hot. Got pretty hot in here. So how was your week? Did I have anything else?
No.
This was pretty much my highlight. So, how was your week?
I'm for once in your shoes. It was rather uneventful, which, given the busy weeks I've had in the past few weeks, it's not bad, honestly. But no, just, still doing workout and stuff, and, like how you're talking about with the whole you don't see any progress, I did another progress thing to see.
Shame on you.
Well, here's the thing. I have a Harley Quinn dress, and I haven't worn it since May, because I wore it at MomoCon, and then I haven't had an occasion to wear it again. And I was just cleaning up stuff in the living room last night because I couldn't sleep, and I found it, and I was like, what the hell, I'm going to try it on. And when I tried it on, it was actually like loose in the waist and chest area, and the straps kept falling off, and I'm like, it made me happy.
Hooray, I wasted money on a cosplay I can't wear anymore.
Well, it was never a cosplay, it was just, I liked the design of the dress. I can still wear it, it's just looser on the top, but I'm not complaining.
I don't know if this is weird coincidence or not. When I started the spoiler alert, the viewer count dropped, and now it's rising again. But sorry, continue.
Maybe they knew. They
were like, spoilers! You could have just muted, guys. You didn't need to run. Sorry. Continue.
No, it's okay. But besides that, the most eventful thing is there's been IRL stuff going on, so I've needed something to help clear my head. So I've been going back to what I did before I started digital art, which is painting. And I haven't been able to paint a lot in the past year and a half because I've been so busy with work stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to set aside time and I'm going to paint. And we have the new streaming computer, so we made a setup so I can paint live on Twitch. And I've been doing that like every other day or sometimes every day for the past week, working on the Celestia painting, which I sent to you on Messenger, that has the tweet that has the picture of how it looks like right now, because I'm not getting up to go grab it from the living room.
Yeah, I'm already on Twitter to find it because I recall you posting it.
Yeah, that's why I just sent you the tweet directly on Messenger.
I beat you there by looking for it manually.
But yeah, I've been working on that, and it's been a lot of fun, and it's really therapeutic. And it turns out a lot of people like to watch me paint because I get a consistent viewer base, and people are like, watching you paint is just really relaxing, and I'm like, cool. I'm glad that you like it. And I've been just playing your work playlist or your MLP song playlist because I have no taste of my own.
Or at least you got sick of listening to the Beatles up and down.
No, I have to listen to YouTube playlists because the Beatles are not on YouTube because UMG UK are a bunch of assholes. No, try to look up a Beatles song on YouTube. You will barely find anything.
Okay.
They took everything down except maybe Across the Universe soundtrack. And those are just covers.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, I was just listening to your stuff because it's like, well, I'm working on an MLP piece. Might as well play MLP music. And I've been listening to so much music from the early fandom that I'm like, wow. What happened to the diversity in music that happened there? Because there was like rock stuff and acapella stuff and EDM, and now it just seems like I find only EDM music nowadays. But besides that, there's really been nothing. I've had a very Krendor week this week, and I'm kind of glad about that. I finished editing the audio on a 30-minute fic reading, which
when is it going to be up?
Actually, it may be up either tomorrow morning or the next day, because all I need to wait on is my friend Pastel to finish the artwork.
I put it in the doodly-doo.
Yay. But yeah, besides that, that was my week. And since my media is going to be a lot shorter than what you were describing to me, I'm going to start with the media.
That's a very good idea, because then I also have kind of like, okay, I see how much time I have left for mine.
Did you send me the thing that is for your media on Messenger?
No, not yet. But first, but yeah, what is your media?
My media is actually research I've been doing, but it's I count it as media because it's research of a media thing. One of the videos that I'm working on right now, besides some of my backlog things like reviews and stuff, is a very personal video that is called like Why I Love Hanna-Barbera. And the thing is, a lot of people think Hanna-Barbera is just, when I ask people like, what's Hanna-Barbera? They're like, the company that made the Flintstones or the company that made Scooby-Doo. They just describe it as this one sentence thing. And then they talk about like how, they were the ones that made these cheesy Saturday morning cartoons. Oh, their stuff was so dumb, so stupid. And usually I don't mind when people make fun of things that I like. But this gets to me more because when people talk about it, it seems like they have no you can make fun of things, but there's no respect being shown. And a lot of people are like, why do you like these old things? So I want to make a video talking about it. I've been doing some research and stuff about it because the interesting thing about them is that they were the pioneers of television animation. We wouldn't have what we have now if it wasn't for specifically that company. We wouldn't have primetime animation, so we wouldn't have Simpsons and South Park and shit. And we wouldn't have Cartoon Network. Because Cartoon Network, when it first started out, was just Hanna-Barbera reruns. We wouldn't have Adult Swim because the first Adult Swim shows were Space Ghost Coast to Coast, The Brack Show, and C-Lab 2021, which were things that took stuff directly from Hanna-Barbera cartoons. We wouldn't have any of that if it wasn't for this company. We wouldn't have Tom and Jerry if it wasn't for Hanna and Barbera, because that's where they originally came from. They came from MGM. And so doing a lot of research...
The Smurfs?
Yep. They made the TV version of the Smurfs. Huh. Snorks, the Jetsons, Yogi Bear, Huckleberry Hound. And we wouldn't have the first cartoons because before Hanna-Barbera merged with Warner Brothers, their studio made the establishing first original programming for Cartoon Network, which was Dexter's Lab and Powerpuff Girls and SWAT Cats and all these things, which brought us Genndy Tartakovsky, Butch Hartman, Seth MacFarlane, Craig McCracken, so on and so forth. So when people say, oh, there is no impact to this company besides they made Scooby-Doo, it ticks me off. Because it's like, you wouldn't have what you have if it wasn't for that. You don't need to be a fan of the cartoons that they made, but respect your elders in the most broadest sense of the word. And I think the best thing that I found from my research, which will end my media, I told you this was going to be short, is a quote that I found from an interview that they did. And because they started releasing animation for TV in the 50s, 1948, maybe 1950. And it was an interview from Joseph Barbera in 1987, talking about when they were producing their first TV television show. They were like, we used to work at MGM, and when they were closing the film studios down, you know, we had to find another way to get stuff out there. We used to have $45,000 per 5 minutes of animation. That was their budget. Keep in mind, this was 1940s, 1950s US dollar value, not what we have now. Now they only had $2,700 to do 5 minutes of animation. Together, they were bringing in maybe $40 each. They didn't have a studio. They had to work. Joseph had to work on the storyboards from home, and his daughter had to color in the storyboards so they can get this stuff out there in time, because they were met with deadlines, and they were met with strict deadlines, television stations not caring about animation, and such a shoestring budget. So to see someone who were in these Academy Award-winning film animations have to start back from the bottom and go back up into making what was a company that existed for half a century until the 2000s when it merged with Warner Brothers, and have a legacy that even supersedes that timeline of half a century into what we have now. I feel like it's like a topic that does need to be talked about and does need to be respected, because when people talk about the big animation studios and what brought legacy to animation to bring it into the mindset of an art form, they just talk about Disney and Warner Brothers and Pixar and DreamWorks. But no one ever talks about Hanna-Barbera, because people think, oh, it's just the silly TV company. And it's like, it's so much more than that. So yeah, that was my media. This is what I do for entertainment, kiddies.
Hooray! Now for my beautiful media.
Oh boy, I'm scared.
Ta-da! Wait, what?
Oh no, I read the title.
No, it's basically 21 times social justice warriors went too far. Maybe a little bit of background. I have a colleague, a new colleague, who is kind of, I believe I have actually seen 4chan on his channel, so on his screen.
Oh no, he's one of those.
And he posted me this list, and some of them are really funny, and I would like to go through them with you, like commenting on them. And the last one is a glorious one where we both need to read the voices.
Oh, I am honored. Let's do this.
Okay, I guess we can read them in turns. Being obese put your health at risk, quote. Do you know what else puts your health at risk? Aging. There are numerous studies showing that getting older increases your risk of heart diseases, joint problems, stroke. Yet society doesn't find it acceptable to shame and discriminate against old people on the basis of being concerned for their health. Concerned trolls only want to reason to bully and harass larger people while trying to justify it as caring about someone's health. Okay, I am absolutely no fan of fat shaming. But this is the extreme opposite. No, it's still unhealthy. Sure, some people are blessed with a metabolism that gets them through an entire shaming, actually.
I mean, look, this is coming from a girl who, with my family's genetics, are born with a wider pelvic area and hips. There's genetic things.
Yes.
But that doesn't give me an excuse to be fat.
Indeed, it is. Let's be fair here. It is. Let's be honest here. It is absolutely unfair that some people have really to fight with their weight, and that it's not easy for them. But trying to compare weight, which you have direct control over, with aging, which is, by the way, maybe people don't blame, or maybe shame. There is actually a little bit of discrimination against old people happening, like in workspaces, but let's ignore this for the moment because we are chosen trusted warriors.
Let's ignore that. It's someone who's
finding a cure for aging is super high on all lists from people. Humans strive for not aging.
This is why we have the life expectancy rate go up over the decades, because people don't want to age.
This is such an amazingly dumb counter-argument. I'm loving it.
It's like, yes, no one likes it when someone looks at you and yells at you to eat a freaking salad, but that doesn't mean you should be throwing fried chicken at them like it's confetti. Like, Christ almighty.
And, oh my god, the attempt to justify, by the way, you were so shocked you lost your visuals there.
Yeah, it happened.
The attempt to glorify obesity and try to deny that it actually carries health risks that are avoidable. It's like, holy fuck, what's wrong with you?
Oh my god.
Okay, let's move on. We have 21 of those. We don't need to address everyone, because some of them aren't this great. Okay, this one, for example. I guess this is for you because it's about male supremacists.
Oh, my favorite.
Absolutely.
Let me get to the...
I mean, it's basically a checklist for me. Okay, well,
yeah.
if you're still opening...
Hold on, I'm clicking on it so it goes to number 2.
Let's figure out if I am a male supremacist.
Okay.
You are a male supremacist if you believe men are naturally masculine and women are naturally feminine. That gender is innate and biological rather than a socially constructed product of culture.
Well, there you have it, guys. ANY confirmed male supremacist. Because, yes, I believe in sexual dimorphism. Please, go on.
Okay.
You believe gender is good rather than oppressive hierarchy. You believe gender roles are necessary for society.
Okay, not necessary, but it's a little bit complicated, but they are growing out of society, so good. No, actually, on this one, I'm not agreeing. I don't think they are good. They are just something that has happened. And, well, oppressive hierarchy, yeah, forget about this one. Next.
Okay.
You believe in the nuclear family model is a good family model.
Yeah, it is a good model.
It's good to have 2 parental figures.
Yeah, it's a good model. I have no problem with other models, but yeah, it's a good one. What's the problem with it? I mean, it's fine to support other ones, but the nuclear family doesn't become bad because of it.
Oh god, I really hate this next.
I made videos promoting like polyamorous relationships, not married relationships, homosexual marriage relationships where there can't even be kids. But I still think the nuclear family is pretty good as well.
By the way,
I'm such a supremacist. I'm such a supremacist.
BTW, the screen share messed up, so I can't see you. So
okay, fair enough. I reset, but
yeah, give me a minute. I have to absorb this stupidity before I say this last one.
Please. Okay. Whoop.
There we go.
You believe men have a right to claim a child that formed inside of a woman's body, parentheses, supports fatherhood rights. Oh my god! Shut the fuck up!
Yes, they do. They give half the chromosome of whether it's a boy or a girl. You wouldn't be having the baby unless the guy jizzed inside you. Yes, he has the right to this spawn because it's part of him, you freaking idiot.
Also, okay, fair enough with the 9 months of pregnancy and so on, and the breastfeeding and stuff that comes after. Yes, The female part is a lot bigger, but first of all, if the mother is shit and the dad is caring, yes, the dad should probably have the kid, first of all.
Oh boy.
And the fact that the way how it is, like, that men have a right, like the question if they have any right at all is asked here, which is amazing. And even in parentheses, the explanation, like, support of fatherhood rights. Yes, the support of rights. You're right. You basically, the implication is that you have to be completely against any rights for fathers. But of course they still have to pay, because in this particular case it is very much the child that might have formed in the woman's body, but the man still has to pay, I assume. It's amazing.
I just read the third one. My head hurts now.
Okay, the first one. Okay, I guess this is one of my favorites. This is amazing. I assume it was written by a small child who just got grounded. If you don't believe adult privilege is a real thing, that's fine. Go ahead and believe it, but please don't ever have children, or work with children, or spend time around children, or take a job that puts you in a position to discriminate against children. Really, to be safe, just don't go outside. You wouldn't like it anyways. There are children out there. Hashtag adult privilege. Hashtag ageism.
Honey, I'm just gonna say that. So one day, you're going to be an adult. And by the way, we wouldn't have children unless adults have children, unless we're having children, which, when you get to that point that you're able to reproduce children, you're not a child!
But Kiefer, you're missing the point.
What's the point?
That children get discriminated by adults. That adults have privileges, like driving cars, drinking alcohol, having jobs, spending money, raising children, telling children not to jump in front of driving cars. You see all this privilege here? Dear Dragon in a Fez. Children are dumb, unexperienced versions of humans. They eventually are, hopefully, growing up to be competent, more or less competent humans. Otherwise, they end up president of the United States. Hey-oh! But
okay.
But the way to guidance them, to educate them, requires a certain higher position, which you can label a privilege. So yes, I support adult privilege over children, because children are dumb. And
I don't believe in talking down to children, and there is people of younger age that are very mature for their age, but that could be so many multitudes of factors, like biological or the environment they were in that caused them to grow up fast. However, you're still a developing human. Adults, at least after a certain point, like 21 or 25, they're done developing. You're not.
Okay, next one.
This is a fun media, Max. Thank you for sharing this.
This one is actually just fine. Huffington Post. Say goodbye to the waffle and the spaghetti theory. Science says men and women aren't really wired differently. Also Huffington Post. Men commit over 89% of all homicides. Why? You should know how the male brain reacts to handling a gun. A little bit of a split personality, Huffington Post, haven't you?
Yeah, and way to not mention that most of women murderers do far worse kind of murderers. Like, they're the ones that murder their own children.
Well, this got dark quickly.
Don't mention that, do you?
Okay, this one is actually not so fun, so let's just quick go over it. I do the bigot.
Okay.
Just saw some footage of Mortal Kombat from Total Biscuit, by the way.
Biscuit?
No, of course it's Total Biscuit. Nobody else has this kind of classy icon. So yeah, just saw some footage of Mortal Kombat from Total Biscuit. Holy shit! Fighting games and their misogynistic female depictions. Smiley.
People get their spines ripped out in this game, and you're concerned about skimpy clothing?
Yes! Fantasy violence doesn't affect me. Misogyny does.
Fantasy misogyny. Oh boy, okay, that one wasn't good. It was only good because of Total Biscuit.
That's fine. Okay, you have to start from the top. Great, now I can't read the title anymore. The title is he used to be in a coma and I used to be fat. So my son is recovering from a brain injury. We had a deal now. If he is standing, I am running. He is up to 90 minutes and I'm down to 70 pounds. Which is kind of a touching story. Of course, the commentary is about fat shaming again.
Oh boy.
I don't want to be rude, but original poster's son seems to be a little intolerant and dumb if he thinks that being fat is a problem. I also dislike that I used to be a fat guy employed by the original posters in the title. Big is a perfectly fine word to qualify people of big size. And let's not use offensive words just for the sake of being hurtful.
Yes, this touching story about a son waking up out of a coma and being motivated by their own dad or his own dad to be able to stand again, to gain this basic human ability, is a very, very good place to talk about your paranoid social justice agenda. Oh.
I just read the next one.
Oh, let's see which was the next one. I don't think we it's basically penis transplant. I will put the link in the description, so this longer one you can read for yourself. It's not this brilliant. It's basically there is an article about about soldiers who actually got injured in their genital area during fights. They get transplant and somebody uses it, of course, for their agenda again, to be like, this part of their identity, they should really overcome this. I mean, it's fine that they have something to urinate, but sexism. What? Did you move?
I skipped through the last two to get to the ninth one because the other two were kind of stupid. And
yeah, this one is actually pretty stupid. Oh yeah, this is the ninth one.
Do you want to build a snow person?
God, this is... Who let the social justice... First of all, this is a fucking quote. You don't... This is a lyric from a song that needs to have a certain number of syllables to work in the first place. Adding one is crippling it. Then it's a quote. A very defining criteria of a quote is to quote it and not to adjust it to your personal feelings. Holy fuck. It's very simple, but it's pretty amazing, and everybody should use this as a desktop background. Number 10.
This. Can I do it?
Of course, it's a girl. You have to do it.
Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy. But you're a white guy who attributes wealth to hard work instead of privilege, and I hate you.
It's amazing. I mean, you don't really have to say a lot of it. I mean, I will not deny that it is, especially in America, probably easier for a white guy to get a good job, but the assumption that the assumption that no work was necessary, like, wait,
no.
Oh, this one is actually very amazing. I'm honestly still trying to figure out why the Olympics are separated into male and female categories if we are so equal. Well, honey...
Because bodies are biologically different?
Yes, honey, because if we wouldn't do this, nearly all competitions would be won by the men and the women didn't have a chance because, once again, sexual dimorphism, we develop differently. It's not fair, but it's a fact. God.
Yeah, and yeah, there's some women who can beat guy records, but that just because
on
there's
average,
a few really powerful women does not mean that we should put everything together.
Yeah.
You're still the best. No matter if you win the female or male category, you're still one of the best of the best. So.
Oh, by the way, if a professor corrects grammar and spelling in papers, that's racism by now. If the person happens to be of race or of not white race. Just letting you know.
That's great. That's great to know. That's great to know.
Ooh, I love this one.
Oh, okay. First of all, I love this. The name of this Tumblr.
Yes.
The goddess is a lesbian too.
Yeah, you have to read it.
Women feeling attraction to men is a social construct that men have tried their hardest to make actually a real thing. Women are naturally. Women are naturally attracted to women, not men. Any attraction felt toward men is a product of social conditioning. And if we as a class are to truly achieve liberation, it has to be collectively unlearned. #lesbian feminism, #radical feminism probably was the last tag.
Somebody did not listen.
I'm sorry, but lesbians can't make babies.
I just wanted to say somebody did clearly not listen to their biology teacher and about how reproduction of mammals works at all.
Well, okay, apparently I am hetero because of a social construct.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And it has nothing to do with the fact that our species would exactly last one generation if this rule would be true. Okay. Ladies, ask your husband if he'd still love you if you got a sex change. If he says no, walk out over to your room and start packing your bags. Because, yeah, you married a straight person instead of a bisexual person. What a twist. Yes.
I have nothing to say on that one besides, ugh.
Ah, okay.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. They did sin shaming. No.
The only thing that would be worse with this is if this was a Rose Quartz cosplay or something. Ugh.
But yeah, fat erasure is the term for it. And the poster is like, wait, what happened to people should be allowed to cosplay as any character they want, regardless of body type? Isn't that a big issue in the cosplay community? Yeah, right, except sin people because of sin privilege.
While we're getting to the next one, there was actually something that I saw that on Tumblr, of course, that made me unfollow a person because I was so annoyed with it.
What's the name, Lily Pete?
No, I followed a lot of Hamilton blogs, and sometimes people dress up as the characters for cons or to go to the shows, and this person was saying a white person is not allowed to cosplay as the Hamilton characters because those characters belong to the other ethnicities, and I'm like, you do realize one of the main points of Hamilton is blind casting, and what made me so happy was months afterwards they've opened up a show in Chicago, and one of the understudies for Aaron Burr, who is now the main Aaron Burr actor, is white, and I'm just like a ginger pale white guy, and I'm like, life is good.
Yeah, because I heard most of the founding fathers were actually not Caucasian. They all were black and Latino and rapping. The rapping was also historically accurate.
Totally, 100% like history.
The characters belong to the cast of Hamilton because none of those characters are historically accurate. I mean, not like the one in Cats. Those are all real.
Yeah, I'm reading this next one.
Nah, forget the next one.
Yeah, I'm forgetting this next one. Obesity is not a disease. We already handled that with number 1.
Yeah, pretty much. This one, I don't know, it's also... Oh, this is actually an interesting thing. I didn't know that this was a thing. A deaf baby hears for the first time. Thousands of hours of patient experimentation went into this. Science is glorious. Accurate headline! Hearing parents doesn't know how to deal with deaf baby and decide their life for them without their knowledge or consent.
Okay.
And the next one, I probably should go on the next one because it's a direct... I don't know if it's a direct follow-up, but it's the same topic of the ludicrousness of glorifying deafness. You can do Caitlin, I do King Gro.
Not a disability whatsoever, buddy. No such thing as hearing loss, just deaf gain.
disability, a condition that limits a person's movements, senses, or activities.
You clearly don't know much about disabilities or deafness. A deaf person can do everything hearing people can, except to hear. It doesn't limit anything at all.
Except hearing.
Okay. If you had a baby that had something that would make it hard for them to live for the rest of their lives, and you had a chance to give them a pill that would automatically fix that, you would do that!
Yeah, also, here's the thing, particularly about deafness. Yes, I do realize there is actually an entire community, because they literally have their own language, like the sign language and stuff. And because of this, obviously, they are bond together because they all speak the sign language. I don't know, it probably is international, I assume.
They have, there's actually, because I'm trilingual. I speak 3 languages, and one of them is sign language. There is American Sign Language, and then there's the International Sign Language. From what my knowledge, most people actually use internet, learn both at the same time, simply because it's easier to communicate with certain international things than it is with the American things.
It's a metric system all over again. The entire world has agreed on one thing, except America.
It's like, yeah, so they make their languages and there is a community. But this same community also helps fund stuff for like research for reconstructive surgery of the eardrums and hearing aids and everything, because this is a disability, and what they did to make this language is to help overcome it.
But
not to think that they're snowflakes because of it.
But yeah, the thing is, they have an entire own culture. I get it. This is amazing. Pretty great stuff. However, glorifying it and denying that deafness is actually a handicap and a disease is just so mind-boggling stupid. I can't get how people get to this point. And by the way, from an evolutionary point of view, if you don't hear the tiger behind you because you are deaf, you are dead. So yeah, don't glorify a handicap that limits people. You can't go into a cinema and watch a movie without subtitles, whatever. But yeah, which cinema has subtitles? It is a limitation. You might gain a small part of experience that hearing people don't have, but you lose a lot. And if they're in glorifying deafness and god damn it. Okay, let's get
to the last one. Oh boy. Oh boy. I need to actually open up the image in a new tab and zoom in.
Yeah, I know. If you give your children names that aren't gender neutral, you're deciding the gender for them, and that's really fucked up.
Yes.
Because for how many percent of all people actually the biological gender works out pretty well with their the biological sex work out pretty well with their gender? 90?
So
95?
much that more. Yeah, so much so that most people, they don't like their name not because it doesn't fit their gender, it's because they rather have a different name. Like,
but
boy.
Yeah, anonymous. This is what's fucked up. Oh, the reply is nice. Oh, shut the fuck up.
Let's just start before the anonymous. Goji bowl and water for lunch was refreshing after a run in this damn humid weather. And then on. Hi! So first off, I love your blog and all the nerdy stuff you post, but could you maybe tone it down with all the fitness stuff you post? I really don't follow you for fitness content.
I'm now the fitness guy?
Oh, did you want me to be the fitness person?
I don't know, you can be the fitness person, but you basically read both of them by now.
Oh, fine, I'll be the fitness person, sorry. I want to hear your voice for Anon.
Yeah, then go on with hey.
Oh. Hey, I'm glad you like all the stuff I blog. As for the fitness stuff, I'm sorry you don't like it, but I used to be a fitness blog before I transitioned into a personal blog. Running, yoga, and fitness are pretty important to who I am, so I do occasionally blog about it. Sorry if you don't like it, but that's just what I like to post sometimes. I hope you continue to like the rest of the blog, though.
And I understand that you, but as a blogger with a glowing... And I understand that. You see, punctuation saves lives. For example, mine, because I'm dying of embarrassing over here. And you understand, and I understand that. But as a blogger with a growing following, you said you you're at, you said you are about 6K followers right now. It's your responsibility to be aware of the type of people following your blog and make sure you're not posting anything that might offend or trigger them. Okay, again, love your blog. Just not the fitness stuff.
God, backhand compliments. I'm very confused. I'm not posting anything triggering on my blog. I posted my lunch today and maybe a few pictures of yogis and runners weekly. It's not like I'm being offensive with what I'm doing or saying on this blog. And once again, I'm trying to be polite here, but this is my blog, so...
When you post about fitness, you are rubbing it in the face of people like me who cannot work out and lose weight. I have a medical issue and bad knees, and my doctor said working out would actually hurt me. So when you blog about that stuff, it's very upsetting to see. I'm asking to you stop doing it, or I'll have to unfollow you.
Look, I'm trying to be nice here, but that stuff about your doctor is just not true. Bad knees aside, you can do something else to lose weight. Do you get triggered by runners on the sidewalk? I don't understand. I'm not going to stop blogging about my running and fitness, so just unfollow me, I guess.
Fuck you and your thin privilege! And fuck you for not seeing how your actions hurt people!
God, this is entitlement Anon all over again.
No!
There it is. All right, I don't feel bad anymore. Fuck you too. Enjoy your excuses and blaming others for your own insecurity. I'm going for a run. Ooh, I like whoever was the blogger for this.
No, the last one is so amazing. I love it.
Oh my goodness, it gives me flashbacks to what happened recently. I had someone on my Tumblr saying like,
I'm so tired of you putting up pictures of yourself. Are you just trying to show off how skinny you are? You're kind of being a slut.
And I'm like, I went on a Twitter tangent and then I deleted it because I'm like, I don't need to explain myself to people. But like, you do realize I'm not losing this weight to try to do some kind of skinny thing. I'm doing it because the weight that I have is a physical reminder of when I was in an abusive household and I had an eating disorder to try to cope with the pain. Like, how entitled must you be to call me a slut for wanting to show my progress on something that I've been trying to work on for years? Like, fuck you! Oh my God, people are stupid.
Okay.
Hashtag slut key, apparently.
Okay, we already went a little bit over time, but we should try to answer at least a few questions very quickly.
Sure.
Should we just go up through the, or I can just go up through Twitter, everybody who used the hashtag.
Yeah, I do know there was one question. By the way, I have a perfect title for this podcast. We already answered the body switching question. Stop asking. We've had like 5 people ask that over the last week and a half.
Okay, oh no, the Nightfall is actually asking about switched personalities.
See, that's the thing I was going to talk about. I actually do like that question.
Didn't you do a drawing for this or multiple
drawings?
Yes,
it was a little swap thing. So like ANY was like this happy artist person, and I was, according to your description, someone who wears a bunch of slutty clothing and doesn't do anything.
So basically the answer will be down in the description in form of a link of the personality swapped versions of us by Keyframe.
Yay. Let's see.
Then
dumbest. I like. Okay, I got one from Google Docs that I like. Disguise says, dumbest thing you have seen someone do or say. I would like to introduce you to my president. But no, I guess the dumbest thing that I've seen someone personally do is ask someone about their cup size at a children's convention.
Huh. Okay, that is pretty much out there now.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Like,
dumbest thing I personally witnessed once was two people basically doing this kind of public thingy, and they basically committed live collective internet suicide by reading like 21 really stupid social justice warrior posts.
Oh yeah, totally. That was just the worst, and now people can take that out of context and think we're the ones who say it. Like,
who would ever come up with this weird connotation?
I don't know, but people probably don't watch them anyway. So
Danny Woodward, the Equestria guy, asked tips for starting an MLP analysis, starting as an MLP analysis reviewer.
Don't do episode reviews and watch Analyze 2 videos.
Indeed, 2 videos about this. Probably in the description. I don't know. Look there somewhere on my channel. Didn't I do a lot of stuff about this? But yeah, my short answer: don't. Do something where you can stick out. MLP analysis review is completely oversaturated the market.
Unless you're talking about concepts or visual stuff that's not something that most people do.
Yeah, anything that is original, basically.
Do canned cream stuff, except don't go missing after a year.
Yeah. Yielded Means is back, and I'm not entirely sure what they ask. Their English needs a little bit of proofreading sometimes. Hey NY, here's a question. How did you react to the BW when Golden Fox appear out of nowhere? What is BW? Is BW an acronym for something? Big B, Big W?
I don't know. What are you talking about, Yadel?
Yeah, sorry, I'm also not entirely sure. So usually when Golden Fox suddenly appears, I say, hey Brad, what's up? So I hope this answers the question.
Okay, this one's also a pony question, but whatever. Mara Music asks, what is your favorite episode from each season of MLP? This is very easy to do lightning round. Season 1, Party of One. Season 2, probably Lesson 0. Season 3, Too Many Pinkie Pies. Season 4, Pinkie Pride, obviously. Season 5, Cutie Map. And Season 6, no episodes because I didn't like Season 6. No, probably Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic. And Season 7 so far is the Apple episode. Not Honest Apple, because that one sucked. The one with William Shatner in it. There you go.
Season 1 to 4, I made top lists for those. Check those out. Season 5... Did you say the cutie remark?
I said Cutie Map.
Ha, very good, because I say the cutie remark. It had time travel in it, don't judge me.
No. I love the cutie remark. I was just thinking, God, good thing Will ain't here. He would have a very loud argument.
Actually, Season 6 had a bunch of nice things. It had a lot of trash in it.
Season 6 is just my least favorite season because the good episodes are not together.
I believe my answer hasn't changed. To Where and Back Again minus the last 10 minutes.
Good point. Good point. I changed my answer to that.
Nightfall, favorite music band and why? Well, we know Keyframe's Antwort. Oh, and something besides Beatles Key. She thought about it.
See, the thing was, I have more than one taste, guy. Thank you very much. Favorite music band, probably Beach Boys. I like a lot of solo artists, so this is really weird. Beach Boys, Temptations, Jackson 5, and of the 90s, 2000s, probably I do like Green Day and stuff. I like a lot of rock music, so you'll get it from that. And whoever did the song "Fuck the Rest," Falling in Reverse. Falling in Reverse is a really good band.
A lot of stuff here all over the place. Some who stick out is the German band Die Ärzte. Then we have Gorillaz.
Gorillaz, yeah, that was another one.
Yeah, stuff like that. Thea Nilsson asks, if both of you could travel back in time and say something to your past self, what would you say? Oh God, where would I start?
I'm trying to think of a not sad answer. Sorry.
Yeah, same here. I probably would travel back to any random point in time. Probably just get out of the TARDIS, slap myself, and just say, "Don't. Just don't. Do it better."
No, here, I'll pick a good moment. I would go back in time to PPC 2016, be behind the curtain, and make sure that I don't fall, so people can stop doing freaky keyframe insurance jokes, because it's starting to get annoying. There's a good funny moment. God, that took me a little bit to think about, but there we go. I think we could do one more. We're doing good with this lightning fire.
Yeah. Keystroke has... Oh, wait, sorry, I'm skipping one. Damon. Recently, I told some people I was getting into art, and then they didn't take me seriously. Any experience with stuff like that? I can't really give tips for getting into art, but in general, usually... Take it from me, whatever you start doing, especially when it's this kind of crafty stuff, productive stuff, at the beginning of your career, your stuff objectively sucks. You will, unless you are a natural super talent, your first tries will suck hard. I mean, I before I kind of dropped it or forgot about it when I started digital art with my drawing tablet. I sent some of the things to Keyframe because I was too embarrassed to upload them somewhere. So yeah, they look shit. If you keep on it, if you listen to constructive feedback, ignore the you suck, dude. Even though we just did this, ignore the unconstructive feedback. Listen to the constructive feedback. Try to improve yourself, avoid stagnation. This is something that, especially by artists, sometimes kind of ruins them. If they just kind of like, oh yeah, I like the style I do right now, and they didn't try to get any better. And now for the actual artist to give you some advice.
I mean, you actually did hit a lot of good points. Have a friend who's good at giving constructive advice, because everyone has that one friend who is not going to be like, blindly positive. This is why Max sends stuff to me. I mean, one that's not going to tear you into asshole, but, you know. Learn the basic principles. So, like, constructing a body, learning how dynamic posing works, proportions. Look at references. I hate the stigma that looking at references is a bad thing, because professional artists use them. So don't feel like it's a bad thing and you have to have it come up from the top of your head. You will get better. And once you learn the rules, you will know how to break them in the way of stylization and everything, while still keeping the core aspects there so it doesn't go into an uncanny valley. And just, my personal advice, always have the belief that your next piece is going to be your best piece is going to be your next one. You are constantly going to improve, even in little minute ways. Even if the ways you can't see it, when you look at your timeline of where you started to where you are now, you will see subtle things change. And expecting gigantic changes to happen all at once is just a fool's errand to do.
Usually, I'm a big promoter of quantity over quality. When it comes to learning a skill, quality is king. Quantity. What did I say? Quantity. Draw the hell. Don't stop drawing. Keep drawing. And I have one final one, which is kind of nice for conclusion. And it's also the last one I got on Twitter, not within the last few minutes. So it's actually an hour old, by Keystroke Cascade. Are you expecting a kind of Spanish Inquisition? What is your favorite Monty Python movie or skit?
Oh, you go first.
Mine is Spam. Because this is a little known fact that a lot of people are not aware of when they talk about spam in emails or in internet in general, or spamming. This goes back to a Monty Python sketch. Spam was spam is a real thing. This is like a little can with some kind of canned meat in it. Google it. Do an image search for spam. And when you see this little box, this little can where spam on it, it's real. That's actual spam. The joke comes from the credits of this spam sketch, where in the credit, yeah, we have ham with spam, we have spam with spam, we have X with spam, we have spam with X marks and spam. And in the credits, they basically have the word spam spammed into the credits, so you read the word spam over everywhere. And this is the origin story of spam. Keyframe.
My favorite one has to be, it's besides the cartoons. The cartoons are going to one of the live action ones. My favorite one has to be this interview one that this guy goes in for an interview, and the John Cleese, who's the interviewer, just keeps doing these weird noises and scaring the shit out of the guy. And he's like, he has like a little bell and he goes ring ding 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 ding, and it triggers the guy to go like ah. And then and then John Cleese gets a bunch of people to come in and to be like, okay, what's your rating? And they all have like, you know, the little judging number things. And the guy's like, you got really high marks. So can I get the position? I'm sorry, but the position's been filled 2 weeks ago. And everyone's laughing. It's like, oh.
I recall that one. This is actually a nice one.
It's so good. That and the skit about fake religions. That one is also a really good one.
Fake religions?
Oh, they were just talking about how many religions there are, and they had like these. They were all fake religions, and they're so funny. But I may have a bias because there's a John Lennon person who's like, I have the religion of no religion, and it's like, so atheist. But
this was before atheist became a big thing. But yeah, we went kind of over time. We'll see how this develops in the future. But yeah, this was today's show. I hope you all had a good time. We probably had... okay, we had better endings.
We've had endings, yeah.
You started talking too early.
No, I thought you would shut up.
Yeah, and you talked. And damn it, we screwed up the ending and I need to go to the bathroom.
I didn't screw it up that time.
You screwed up the ending. You started to talk without waiting for me if I'm actually finished. But there's one good thing about it. This ending was really awkward.